I am Komla. Many thanks for joining us from wherever you are. Now, a pressure group, United Press for Development, UPDN, has made mockery of the excuse by the Ghana police to the effect that the service is yet to retrieve CCTV footages in which Joy News' Latif Idris's police brutality was captured to enable them identify the perpetrators of the inhuman act. As part of activities marking African Union Day, which falls on today, the group embarked on a peaceful demonstration dubbed Press for Justice Demo to register their discontent on recent abuses meted out to media persons in the country. It's been well over 2 months since the attack on my colleague Latif, but police is yet to identify the personnel of the service who attacked him. The United Press for Development finds the excuse ridiculous. Here are some of the demonstrators.
I'm very disappointed, I must say. So, like you rightly mentioned, if the table had turned and it was Latif who hit the police officer, I'm not sure the CCTV camera wouldn't be working. That's a fact. And I don't know, but I think they should come back and give us better explanation to that. We wouldn't subscribe to the CCTV not working and not being able to get corporate of Latif Idrisu. We demand for it and will forever demand for it. They better get their ass together and get us that. Seriously. I had a report yesterday from Western Region. One of my members over there, Eric Jetuya, happened to be slapped by a military officer just yesterday. And it's quite annoying that things are happening after being reckoned as the Africa's #1 country in the world press freedom or press freedom. It's quite amazing. And we are sending a petition to the Ministry of Information on Monday. Today is holidays, AU Day. Monday we send a petition to them and we have some few things to suggest to them to call their attention up. But we don't have time to spare. We can't wait for the next media person to be attacked. I got too much annoyed when I heard Eric was attacked and slapped yesterday. So we need to stop them, the quietness, and move into action. This part of our world, what they understand is demonstration. Yes, and that's what we're going to give to them if they do not respond to us. It's not about party A or party B. We don't do politics. The interest is Ghana, the interest is the media.
Some sections of the populace, wherever they find themselves, would have loved for there to be some level of oppression whereby we will be coerced into speaking languages of other people. But that's not going to happen, all right? We are in a new media world. We are in a new digital age. We are young people that are invigorated, that are ready to defend our professions, that are ready to defend the fact that we are media professionals. We are proud of it. Whether we are onions, it doesn't matter. We are very proud of who we are, and we are going to stand for our rights any day, anytime, anywhere. Because we stand for justice, we stand for the truth. We should stand as a beacon of, media pluralism, beacon of media independence, beacon of media rights, whereby at least if you're a Ghanaian journalist practicing in Ghana, you're not afraid what you say, you're not afraid where you go, because you know that your rights will be respected.
Ghana democracy is currently deepening up, you understand? People are beginning to understand so many issues, you understand? But at this time, we need to educate the masses. We need to inject more education. The media shouldn't give up. You understand? These are some of the shortcomings. You understand? So it shouldn't serve as a frustration to some of you to walk out and then get information and then send it to the public. You understand? So it shouldn't be at all. It should even serve more encouragement. You need to be bold, have the strength, and move forward and do more. You shouldn't be afraid of the public. You understand? Move and penetrate. No, what? Move and penetrate. Be bold and move it.
Well, let's get more on this as I'm joined in studio by leader of the United Press for Development, Kofi Asante. Thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And to whom exactly are you making your concerns known, and what change do you expect to see in this pursuit?
Let me say good afternoon to all media persons, and a very big thank you to those who were able to join us to spare part of their holiday to be on the street with us. Okay. Having said that, we are directing our anger to anyone who is actually nursing the intent to beat a media practitioner and everybody, especially to the government of the day. We are sending an indication in the first place to the Ghana Police Service through the government, the Ministry of Information. On Monday, we send them a petition to request that, as a space of 1 month, we are giving them 1 month to find the culprits of Latif Idrisu within 1 month. If they dare don't then we will roll out our next media action. We are also encouraging the government of the day to deliberately lead a campaign to educate the populace, because there's several misconceptions out there against media persons, and we want to change this mindset. We are on a media revolution, and we need this to be done as urgent.
And what's the composition of this group specifically? Are you media personnel yourselves?
Most of us are media persons, most of us. Others are Ghanaian, practicing in Ghana. Others are in Holland. We have network members who are in Germany, also in the US. Augustine J came all the way from UK to be part of this demonstration, and he is here also for one of our programs slated for next week, Friday.
Okay, so after today's demonstration, then what?
Then we are sending a petition. We have about 5-point petition bulleted for the Minister of Information, which will be copied to the IGP, to the Defense Ministry, and a couple of other security agencies.
Would you mind sharing with us some of the components?
The very first one I would mind sharing is how we want them to lead a campaign to educate Ghanaians on our work. The Ghanaians should now appreciate and understand how we work. If we take a shot of you, a picture of you, and you don't understand why we took you a picture at your head or your party head office, you don't slap the person and think she's an onion seller. No way. We don't live in a chaos country. This is here is ruled by the 1992 Constitution, and we're under the rule of law. So we are calling on the ministry to deliberate lead, call media persons together, call the security together. Let's have a forum, a media conference, so we can change the misconceptions surrounding our work.
Well, you said earlier that you're going to roll out a series of actions, and in what form are these actions going to take? You see, because you've just done a demonstration.
This part of our world, they understand demonstration, and that's what we're going to give to them. In 1 month, if we don't find... Let me ask you, if Latif was the one slapping the police officer, do you think Joy would be here by now? But now we would have been closed down. By now, we would have found the perpetrators, or would have found the person who brutalized the police officer.
Okay, so what do you suspect?
I suspect there's a cover-up.
Okay.
I suspect the CCTV camera that thing is too weird for in this modern days.
You're not satisfied by the assurances the police gave that they're looking into it?
At all. That's why we are giving them a whole 1 month to think of what they are doing and get out the right information. Get the people out for us to send them to court and get justice for Latif, because this is very uncalled for. Many thanks to you, Kofi Asante. He's leader of the United Press for Development. They've been telling us about a demonstration they held earlier today to protest the police's decision, or the claims by the police that they are unable to find CCTV footages of that night's protest in which some of their personnel could have been implicated in the reports of brutality against my colleague Latif Idris. Away from that, government is to provide solar-powered irrigation facilities for tomato growing farmers across the country. This is after Joy News' documentary Desert Tomatoes revealed how many traders and farmers travel out of the country to import tomatoes from Burkina Faso. Deputy Minister for Agric, Derek Odro, has been speaking to my colleague Prince Apia, who has filed this report.
The Deputy Agric Minister George Odro, together with his team, first visited some tomato farms in Tuobodom that was made up of the Tomato Traders and Transporters Association. He also met tomato traders from Dema, Afrancho, Akomadang, Techimentia, Techiman, and Bichim at Dema. His visit was to ascertain at first hand the challenges along the trade and what sought to Burkina Faso at the expense of local. This comes at the back of the documentary Desert Tomatoes on the plight of tomato traders and why they resort to Burkina Faso to bring tomatoes.
Very, very, very much worried, and I'm very, very much angry and annoyed about it. How could you allow our people to send, from what they are saying, I don't have the data yet, but from them, they say 54 billion CFA. If you translate into Ghana, it's not a small amount. We want to provide an irrigation facility system for them, powered by solar pumps. And where there are rivers, we give them pumping machines. But where there are no rivers, we help them to get to drill a borehole for them and supply them with solar power pumps to distribute the water so that they'll be able to do the farming during that period from May up to December. That's the dry season that they are talking about. They have to finish the farming season, that was up to July, before we're able to install those facilities. We've just started everything, and we are yet to do tender about the people to drill the boreholes and those who supply the machines and the solar systems. You know, we are constructing 80 warehouses across the country, and we are going to turn those at the areas where they produce tomatoes and, let's say, perishable goods. We are going to add cold facilities to it so that they will be able to store what they produce within that municipality. You see, what happens is that you don't have storage facilities. That is creating all these problems. So if you're able...
Mr. Odro also revealed new varieties that can last at least for 4 weeks are ready to be distributed through the Planting for Food and Jobs to the farmers. The documentary also revealed traders go through abuse and torture on their way to and from Burkina Faso. Mr. Odro says the ambassador to Burkina Faso has been charged to address the issue.
That one, we are lazy with the Ghana embassy in Burkina. There are certain issues that happen, especially the way they attack some of these women and the buyers wasn't good enough. So the ambassador or the High Commission in Burkina is working on it.
Meanwhile, players in the tomato value chain are excited by the interventions. First, Eric Oseitufor is chairman for the Tomato Traders Exporters Association.
I welcome it because it will help we, the tomato traders and transporters, more because of what is happening during our cross-border trade. We go to Burkina Faso to trade, to get profits, but there are so many challenges we are facing over there.
Then, leadership of the Federation of Tomato Growers Association.
What we are saying is that normally people do promise, but to fulfill them is another problem. So all what he was saying about helping us to have a place, storage facilities, giving us some assistance during loans, if all what they are saying will come to pass, then we will admire them and we shall appreciate them.
The journey to Burkina Faso will only end if government does not renege on these promises. Prince Apia reporting.
Away from that, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Otiko Afisa-Jaba, yesterday sent a delegation from her outfits to donate items and an undisclosed amount of money and commiserate with 11-year-old boy who suffered severe injuries as a result of hot water which was poured on him by his own mother, Patience Botwe. The delegation was led by the head of domestic violence at the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Malolene Asibi. We do apologize for the loss of sound in that insert there. The boy who was discharged from the hospital about a week ago is, however, responding to treatment. His mother, Patience Botwe, is, however, expected to appear before a Takoradi Circuit Court on the 6th of June. Let's go over to onto the phone line and speak with my colleague, Inathalia Kwansa, who has been monitoring the situation. Hello, Ina. Good afternoon. How is the boy doing? Do you know? Hello, Ina.
Yes, Kamla, can you hear me?
Yes, I was asking, how is the boy doing at the moment?
Yes, yesterday when we went there, he was responding to treatment. You know, initially when the hot water was poured on him, he had injuries around his private parts and all that. But yesterday, upon seeing him, just around his private parts, the wounds are healing. And then around his buttocks, that is where you can still see some wounds there. And when we asked him to walk, he finds it a bit difficult to move. That is how I saw him. He was finding it difficult to make any other movement. So he just sat at one place throughout the visit.
Okay, do we know whom he is living with at the moment, since we know, for example, that his mother is expected to appear in court on June 6th?
Yes, come with the family. Well, you can see that the mother now feels very bad for what she did. She promised the domestic violence or director that she would never do that. And she had also advised men in the community that no matter the situation, she doesn't think what she did any woman should also do the same thing.
You've been speaking to some of the community folk. What have they been telling you specifically regarding this incident?
Yes, for them, they told me that they were so surprised with what the woman did, especially after doing that, telling the boy not to tell anyone that she had done it, but to tell people that he had accidentally fall on the hot water by himself. They term it as very barbaric. What the woman did was very bad, and they wouldn't want anybody in that community to be involved in such a sense. So they are going to monitor the boys' movement together with the Social Welfare Directorate here in the region and then at the head office.
Many thanks to you, Inathalia Konsa, my colleague in the Western region, bringing us updates on that particular story. Let's move away from one bad story to another, because 2 years ago, he mistook a liquid substance his mother had reserved to prepare liquid soap as fruit juice and drank it. Little did 8-year-old Bright know it was caustic soda. This act of his affected his ability to swallow. A first surgery on him at the Kumfanochi Teaching Hospital wasn't successful, requiring a second one. That's what brought him and his pregnant mother to the streets of Santa Maria here in Accra, where, with the aid of a pastor, they sat under the sun soliciting funds. First Lady Rebecca Ekufuado, who saw the story on Joy News, paid for the entire corrective surgery, costing 150,000 cedis. A man of God, Prophet Nigel Gazy, also assisted with 3,000 cedis. My colleague Hannah Odame, who produced this particular story, caught up with Bright and his mother after the surgery.
Little Bright here, 8 years old, was months ago on the streets of La Paz begging for money to enable him undergo a surgery because he had drunk caustic soda which affected his throat, preventing him from drinking or swallowing anything. He was first operated on at the Kumfanochi Teaching Hospital but transferred to Accra when doctors there realized that it was getting difficult to receive proper treatment. Now he's here, and through the courtesy of First Lady Rebecca Ekufuado as Prophet Nyagel, he has undergone a successful surgery at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital under the leadership of Dr. Ofe Labi, and here he is. And we want to find out from him how he feels after the surgery. How are you, Bright?
I'm fine.
Great. First off, tell us, what can you do that you couldn't do at first?
I'm feeling fine.
You say, I'm feeling fine.
Okay.
You're able to swallow.
Okay.
So what are some of the things you can do now that you couldn't do at first?
You see, drink
But after food, Mommy will still have to mash it for you, right?
Yes.
But at least, can you play with your friends now?
Yes.
Really? Then I'll play hide and seek with you before we leave here. So you showed us the tubes before the operation. Can you let us see how it looks now after the surgery? Let's look at it. Open it for us. Get up. Get up, let's see how it looks. So that's Bright. Before the surgery, he had these same tubes, but after the surgery, it's still there. Just that in about a few months, we've been told by the doctors that they will be removed after he's able to swallow actual solid food. And so that's little Bright. Okay, you can have your seat now. So, what would you say? You know that it was a First Lady and Prophet Nyagel who helped you. What would you say to them?
I would say thank you to doing all this for me. Thank you.
Okay. What lesson have you learned from going to drink the caustic soda that brought all these troubles? What lesson have you learned?
I wish I don't go and drink caustic soda again.
Not only caustic soda, anything that you have not been asked to take, I hope you will not touch it. So she's full of smiles because, of course, her son has successfully undergone a surgery that will enable him to eat, and that's Vida. How are you, Vida?
Fine. I'm so happy now. Previously, I was so burdened by my son's condition that it affected my health. One advice I have for parents is they should be very mindful of dangerous substances in the house. I know my carelessness caused this. My greatest thanks to First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo and Prophet Nigel for helping my son.
That's a warning as well as excitement from Vida, who is mother of little brides who has successfully undergone a surgery, and she's also going to give us a bundle of joy soon, as we have all seen. For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odame.
Some relief there for Little Bright. You're still watching Joy News. Today, still to come, President of the Ghana Institute of Safety and Environmental Professionals has called on the Ministry of Trade and Industries and government to enact laws that will compel companies to strictly comply with the health and safety needs of their workers. We have details of that after the break. You're welcome back to Joy News today. Now, students of the Awudome Senior High School are compelled to use the school's dining hall and other educational facilities in shifts due to the lack of infrastructure. The situation, according to the headmaster Emmanuel Amo, impedes academic work. Speaking at the school's speech and prize-giving day, he appealed to government to complete ongoing projects on the campus to make available enough space for the intake of a 2018-2019 batch of students.
Awudome Senior High School, established in 1963, has a student population of over 1,700. Though the school is one of the oldest second-cycle schools in the region, it lacks some basic infrastructure. The dining hall, originally constructed to accommodate 400 students, has to be used in shifts as the student population has outgrown the facility. Construction of a boys' dormitory, which commenced in 2005, has been abandoned, putting pressure on the current dormitory facility accommodating male students. These, coupled with other infrastructural challenges, threaten academic progress in the school. Speaking at a speech and prize-giving day for Awudome Senior High School, the headmaster, Emmanuel Amu, expressed worry at the inadequacy of infrastructure in the school.
The dormitory facility for the boys leaves much to be desired. Though the PTA over the years have been making some efforts at improving some accommodation, there is a dire need for proper and adequate accommodation for the boys. Mr. Chairman, the truth is that there has not been any properly designed plan for accommodation for the boys. The facilities in use are only makeshift apartments. It will interest you to note, Mr. Chairman, that there is the construction of a boys' dormitory block, which was started in 2005 by the PTA and later taken over by the government, but is still at the foundation level. We have made several persistent appeals to get a 2,500 capacity multi-purpose dining hall complex for the school through the Member of Parliament for Ho West. But this dream is yet to see light.
71 excelling students were awarded for their excellent performance in academic and extracurricular activity. The occasion was also used by a United States-based non-governmental organization, Erratic Truth Foundation, to institute a Teachers Award scheme to motivate teachers in the whole West District. Rose Pobi is the Chief Executive Officer of Erratic Truth Foundation.
We all appreciate the fact that teachers are the least rewarded workers in the world all over. So we think with this token, it's going to motivate the other teachers to try to emulate their peer, and in so doing collectively, they will help in uplifting the standards in the school, precisely our school.
The scheme, dubbed the Sebastian Ifojo Most Valuable Personality Award, sponsored and instituted by Dr. David Togbe Ifojo, will be replicated in 7 other senior high schools in the whole West District. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Chito.
Away from education, let's do something on health, because President of the Ghana Institute of Safety and Environmental Professionals has called on the Ministry of Trade and Industry and government to enact laws that will compel companies to strictly comply with the health and safety needs of their workers. Speaking to Joy News at the 2nd Ghana Manufacturers Awards, leader of the institution, Mr. Nana Amihie, said the non-adherence to health, safety, environment and quality standards as required globally has affected the output of many Ghanaian companies and on many occasions claimed the lives of many workers. There's more in the following report.
National President of the Ghana Institute of Safety and Environmental Professionals, Nana Amihie, expressed worry at the rate at which some local companies fail to prioritize the safety of their staff, saying the environmental cost implications are severe.
The costs that when there is an accident, the cost to industry and to our human resources is unquantifiable. We cannot put money to it. So it will be expedient for all companies who are involved in high hazardous activities should take safety as first life, as they do in the mining industry. When you go to the mines, safety comes first before everything else. So until we develop that culture in our industry, then we will have a lot of challenges.
He appeals to the Trade Ministry to address the situation by enacting stricter laws.
And that's where you see the beauty of safety. What can be done in 10 minutes, because of safety, you go through a whole lot of processes before you can conduct such activities. But when you come to some of these indigenous companies who do not embrace safety, they just put safety to the back burner and they think safety is expensive, so they don't care much about safety. But if the law is there, if the law is there to force them to embrace safety, then they have no choice but to do the needful.
Head of Communications and Sustainability, Unilever Ghana, Henry Herbert Malm, winners of the Manufacturing Company of the Year and Best Manufacturing Company in Corporate Social Responsibility, expressed worry about the influx of substandard goods on the market that is affecting the health of many Ghanaians.
There are a lot of people who are dumping all sort of stuff into this country. They go out there to wherever, they pick stuff, they bring them here at prices that you would not find competitive. They are just throwing something, all kinds of things into the people, to the market, to the people, to make their money. We know the kind of competition we face from these people, and we know it's not genuine competition. We're here, we face all the problems associated with doing business in this country. And we say, no matter what, we are ready to stay by the people. We'll give them the kind of quality they deserve.
Among winners of the 2018 Ghana Manufacturers Awards were Despite Group of Companies, Tropical Cable and Conductor Limited, Guinness Ghana Brewery Limited. Reporting for Joy News, Charity Emihil Bartels.
In Joy News today, we take a quick break, and Emmanuel Abuajiriafi will join me after the break in business with some updates on the ongoing Joy Business Wellness and Health Trade Show currently ongoing at the Accra Digital Center. It's actually in its second day. He'll bring me details after the break.